Welcome everybody. How's everybody doing? It's Let's Talk AGL. It's with me, Majin, Busha, and of course, gotta have Hydra with me, right? Who else would be here?
True. True. Who else would be here, guys? What is up, Chatium, as you guys know me to say? I'm here with Majin, and it's going to be a fantastic time, I think. I mean, we're going to be doing this pretty much from week to week. You guys can see at the bottom of our screens here, this is going to be the very first one. So let's talk AGL. We got a lot to talk about this time. So how do you want to start us off, Majin?
Well, the very first thing is to notice we have chat on our screen, and Glacier was definitely first. I mean, you see it there. Nobody can
What's
claim
first?
it. It's happened. It's over with. So first is done. Congratulations to the
It's
owner
true.
of the league for swiping and taking that from everybody else. But I don't know, man. I'm so excited. Like, just to be honest with you, real quick, like I
Mm.
lost a lot of passion last year. I did.
Yep.
I did. I
Really.
didn't see like a great future for the game.
Mm.
I didn't feel like things were going very well or going to go very well.
Hmm.
Next thing you know, patch after patch after patch happens. The LAN for Worlds, I guess it's technically Worlds, but it wasn't really called
Yep.
Worlds. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that happens.
Vegas.
So that like added a little bit of hype, and then I was like, okay, let me play the game on open. And
Hmm.
then I don't know. It's just come back to me, man. Like it's
Yep.
my schedule's also like another part for me was my schedule was awful.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We had lost staffing. We finally got that built back up within the last couple of weeks, so I'm a lot less stressed. So I have a little more time to feel focused and not like worry about the stresses. So for me, I'm so happy to be back. I don't know about you.
Heck yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, Smite 2 is it's a very exciting time, I think, in terms of like Smite's life cycle. I was a Smite 2 doomer. I'll keep it a buck, guys. I did not think this game really I was a Smite 1 ride or die, like everyone was playing, Smite 2, and I was like, no, I'm staying on Smite 1 until the servers shut off. And then I lost in a league, and I was like, well, I'm uninstalling Smite 1, I'm done with this, whatever. Um, but like I've been playing a lot of Smite 2. I'm getting involved in some other leagues. I've been helping out with, obviously OSL, RSL, stuff like that. I've been helping them out with a lot of stuff, and with content creation also being an all-time high. Obviously we're helping AGL do this. I mean, the love of the game was never gone. You know what I mean? It's just like I have like, it's been reinvigorated almost. Not definitely, not almost, not almost. The passion is there. The passion is back. We are passion maxing. And Jackson in the chat saying ads. I'm sorry. You should sub to AGL though, and you won't have ads. So there's that. But no, I mean, I'm super happy to be here. I think the game is super fun, super enjoyable. Obviously, if it wasn't super enjoyable, we wouldn't be running a whole league around the game. So I think we're going to see a lot of great competition this year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We'll see how this goes, and it's nice to see some familiar faces in the chat. Not
Oh
feeling
yeah,
in Jack specifically, but Sweaty Sacks, longtime player
for
here,
sure, for sure.
OSL, you name it. Like you always see Sweaty around. Um, so I guess we'll just do some quick tidbits first.
Yep.
The first most important, exciting thing I think is this is the first season that we've run since we started relegations that there are
Hmm.
no teams that are allowed back with that top four
Yeah.
rule that we've had in the past.
Yeah, I love this change. If I'm being honest, now obviously it comes from the framework of this is a brand new game. We can't just say you were the winner of the last season of Smite 1, so you're going to be grandfathered in for Smite 2. A lot of those people they might not even be playing Smite 2 yet. If we were gonna try to do that, some roster changes may have happened. Some of them have only been playing Smite 2 for a couple weeks, maybe a month. So we're giving everybody the same fair shot. If you want to be in the top division, or you think that maybe you were better, you're better at Smite 2 than you were at Smite 1. Everybody's gonna have a shot at getting into the division that they want to be getting into. So I think that's just super awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every single spot is open in all four divisions, 8 teams in each division.
Yep.
So 32 spots total. I mean, everybody
Oh
has
yeah.
to earn their spot in or be left out. That's
Oh yeah.
it's one for all and all for one in this situation. Other important thing to mention: there won't be a broadcast this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Um, people
Yeah, busy
having
weekend.
family stuff, all that kind of thing. So it's a little hard to pull off a broadcast. As of right now,
Mhm.
at least, I haven't been told anything else or otherwise at this point.
Right.
But what we can do, Hydra, is what?
I mean, we are doing relegations this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna say,
Yeah. So we all know there's a community clips section. So if you want to post your clips in there, we'll throw together. I should have time. I'll throw together a montage, a little highlight of people's submissions, and I'll
Oh yeah,
throw it together. Like a 3 to 5 minute thing or something like that. But that'll be at least a fun way to revisit some of the games that happened without actually having a full broadcast available to us. So I think that'll be cool.
yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah,
with
I think I was gonna say, so we're gonna be premiering it here. I think we're gonna be doing a clip montage every week from the previous week. So if you guys have like a really sick play in relegations, let's say you guys get, that very, very hard to pull off crit agony penta. I know that's like so rare. So if you can pull off a, sick play like that, clip it. So everybody, get those, OBSs ready, that metal ready, get those clips ready for us, submit them into our media channel, and we'll put something, really cool together for you. Really excited to see what you guys can all pull off in every division. So don't just think because you're not in the top division, we're not going to be showing your clips. If you have an awesome play and we like it, it's going to be in that montage for us.
I'll tell you what, Ivory, I'll do it. And not only will I do it, I'll make it the first clip. So
100%.
that said, I don't want to see you actually inting for it. You have to actually die first way because you're actually trying. So there's that. Glacier's mentioned a chat you can see on screen.
Yep.
Potential casting from Valve this weekend. So we'll make sure we plug that Twitch channel at the very end. When I've got
Yep.
more time to just copy and paste, and probably maybe put out an announcement for it tomorrow when we go live, or when he will go live. So I'll find out the
Yep.
information, post it, and we'll go from there. But I think it's time to start diving into some important information for this season.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So first of all, relegations. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's a two-part, two-weekend system. The first week happens tomorrow, or first day happens tomorrow, May 24th, 5 p.m. Eastern, and then
Yep.
next week is at the 31st, so the last Saturday of this month, also 5 p.m. Eastern as well.
Yep. Check-ins start at 4 p.m. EST. They're going to be closing at 4:50 p.m. EST. So I know, Stumps, I'm going to call you out here. You said you're going to check in at 4:59:59. That's actually not possible. So please, make sure if you're a captain, make sure your teams know to be around and be ready. And don't be in like an hour-long conquest game as the games are about to start. Be responsible and be ready to play. Another thing is that the captain must check in. You got to check in your team during this time frame. You had to do it in our Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, if you don't have a team member in the Discord, get that all sorted out before check-ins actually start. If you, for some reason, are a captain and you don't check Discord frequently, definitely make sure you get used to checking it. Get familiar with the Discord so you know what channels to use and stuff during this time as well. The captain will have a role that will allow them to see the check-in channel. So if you are a captain and you can't see that role, please make a ticket. We will help you. We'll make sure that we get that sorted out for you. And if you have any struggling kind of points with that, just please reach out to anybody that's on the AGL staff and let us know. We can help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, if you do want to add somebody as a backup contact that can check you in,
Mhm.
like,
Yep.
oh well, I work, I get off at like 4:30. I don't know if I can make it in time, or whatever the case might be. Ping somebody in a help desk, whether it's Glacier, April, one of the admins, one of the management team. We can help you out with that. We just need to get the person in the Discord, make sure they're there, and that way we can get them their role and assign their team name behind them, so we know exactly who it's for.
Yep.
So I think it's all pretty clean, pretty simple. So remember, between 4 and 4:50, the check-ins will be open. After that, it closes. The reason for that is we've got to make the brackets. We make them by hand every time that we do relegations, especially for the first weekend.
Yep.
So that's why we need to close those a little bit 10 minutes early so we can get this thing started on time.
Yeah. 100%.
And then this weekend, as mentioned, is the group stage weekend. As my cat jumps off my chair onto the bed.
Heck
Um,
yes.
So this is a round robin type of situation here. So best of ones for every match that you play inside of your group. You could have 3, 4, potentially 5 games. Just be prepared to have subs available. If you don't have any subs, you can still get them added on before your first match starts. So just make sure that you're covering yourself that way.
And again, just to reiterate, this likely means you guys will be playing 3 to 4 best of ones. So just plan accordingly to play 3 to 4 games of Smite game that day. Don't plan to just have like an hour and a half free. It will likely take a little bit longer than that. Um, and again, the bracket will be made by check-ins. So if you don't check in, you won't be in the bracket. So if you say, "Oh, like I am burnt toast Thanatos lovers 420," we have our team, but I didn't check in. Where are we on the bracket? You're not in the bracket. So everybody, make sure that you're responsible. Check in time. Make sure you can get there on time. And then obviously we'll announce it when it's ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, likely 3 to 4 games, possibly 5. So we'll see how it goes. Some of you are familiar with this, some of you aren't. Just gotta make sure we cover all the bases here. Again, relegations rosters will lock when your first game is starting. So again, if you need to add subs, if you need to make changes, get them in before that happens. That way you don't have any issues for the rest of the day. Um, Also, just to reiterate one more time, the bracket is being made after check-ins close. So if you haven't checked in, see you next weekend. That's really it.
Yeah, pretty much. One thing I want to touch on really quick is that the best records may be eligible to skip the second weekend of relegations entirely, and they just might enter their division right away. So if your team performs very, very well, if you guys beat every single team that we put you against on the first weekend, it's very likely you're just going to get into the division. So there is some weight behind these games. Definitely come in trying your best. There is an incentive for you to absolutely try your best here, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And us also like the other way around. If you end up going like 0-3, 0-4, it doesn't mean you're done for. You got one more chance the next weekend, which is
Yep.
an elimination style bracket. We'll go over that next weekend. Should you be there? We'll go over it on the podcast, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday night. So
Yep.
on the May 30th, we'll go over that stuff with you. But let's talk about how many spots are open for relegations and how many teams are actually fighting for relegations. Do you want to go over that, Hydra?
Yeah, definitely can for sure. So open spots. So in the bottom division here, about that goldish range that we have, there are about 9 teams competing for 8 spots. So one of you guys will be going home. In the plat to diamond division, we have 12 teams competing for 8 spots. So again, you guys will see that about 4 of those teams will be going home. The number's going to keep increasing for a second. In the diamond to obsidian division, this is the fun one. We have 17 teams competing for 8 spots. So if you're in that diamond to obsidian range, you guys know what teams. If you're on a team, if you're a captain, you know what division you signed up for. This division is a bit competitive to get in this time for sure. So if you guys haven't been scrimming or anything like that, please make sure you're going to be trying your best here. And in the Masters division, we have 11 teams vying for 8 spots in total. So the most competitive, I guess, the most competition you're going to be seeing is going to be that Diamond Obsidian range of those divisions. So that's going to be really exciting to kind of break down and figure it out and watch.
Yeah, and I did, and just to mention, like the reason we're doing 8, even though we have 17 teams, and not to create another division, is this is kind of like a test to see how things are going to go going forward. Now, like for the vetting process, it considers Smite 1 and Smite 2. So this is kind of a tester. We're going to see how this works out. So we just don't want to create an extra division and not get the data that we need, the proper data that we need to adjust anything going forward. So I just wanted to mention that. But I think we already explained how groups work and how you
Yep.
skip through the next relegations. Talked about it all
Yep.
being best of one. Just checking off notes here. We explained how the knockout bracket works. We'll do that next week. Um,
Mm,
because I want to double check with Glacier, but I'm pretty sure I know, but I just want to make sure. So the
mm.
next portion that we're going to cover is I'm going to ask Hydra for
Oh
one or
gosh.
two teams in each bracket that he thinks is going to qualify, either qualify through the first weekend or is going to perform very well, and you need to keep an eye out for. So I guess
Oh
we'll start
gosh.
with the
Okay.
goldish section. What do you think?
Oh man, let me pull up the roster's really quick. I mean, which we have a really cool way of doing rosters this season. Shout out to Glacier for making it look super pretty. Um, Let me see because this was actually really dope. Oh man. Okay, here we go. I got it pulled up. I got it pulled up now. Let's see. We're gonna start with the you say goldish.
Yeah, we'll start with Goldish.
Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of good rosters here. I mean, obviously the crazy unhinged Muppets. Don't look up their acronym. Has a lot of veteranship, a lot of names that I'm familiar with. Ivory Mac Room 55, It's a Wits, Alpha Speeder, Sarcastronaut, Acer Man, with Jerry Bear and Ando as subs. I think that team will actually be pretty solid for that division, but I mean, there's, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, based off of just name power alone, I think I'm rocking with late rotations.
Ooh.
Like late rotations. I mean, like they got Zababa Yaga. They got they have their jungler. I don't know if I can say their name on stream, but they have their jungler. They got DBZ Spartan, Lizakor. And they got Rush Roof. So I mean, honestly, I like the team name. I like their captain's name, who I'm not gonna say it on stream just to be safe. But their captain is their jungler. You guys obviously in the server can go check out these roster sheets and go to late rotations and see who their captain is. You guys know, you guys definitely know. But I mean, I like those two teams 100%. Yeah, but I will also give a shout out to four guys on a camel. The Monkey King being their captain here. I'm a big fan of Gutta and Dave Zero comes. The Monkey King Blue Star. I think that roster's pretty good. Pineapple's lazy as a sub. Rivers is a sub as well. I think that team's gonna be pretty consistent. I don't maybe they don't make it in the first week, but I don't see them not making it in.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. And also, late to rotations is played in the league like last 2 or 3 years. It's always been at
I
least
just
the
love that
core
name.
3 or 4 players, and then like rotate out another one kind of thing. Um,
Oh, I
so,
love that name.
so they've been around a long time. So
Yeah, I love that name.
that's a good shout. You should expect them to probably perform well if they're gonna do as well as they have in the past. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll move over to the Plat Diamond area, and we've got some familiar names and some unfamiliar names for me.
Yep.
I see a few people that are like maybe moved up from the past.
Mhm.
What are you thinking about this section here?
I mean, the Sewer Morton men. I think they have my whole heart. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they have Tess, like they have Taco, they have Mort. I mean, like that team, they're gonna be having a good time no matter what, really. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I think they're my Sherrick's favorites. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure I'm rooting for this team the entire way through. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them have a great time and have fun this season. So I'm just gonna pick them. They're my favorites. GG.
Okay, okay. So not even just for Relegations. You think the entire season is going to be your
Yep.
team that you're going to say, hey, this one's
Yep.
going all the way.
Yep. They're going all the way. They're making it to playoffs. I mean, like I mean, it's cooked. I mean, if you guys had to play them week one, they're probably going to 2-0 you, GG. Like, I don't know the schedule yet. I haven't seen the schedule, but whoever's playing against them, good luck. Good luck. Um, but I
Okay.
will give an honorable mention to the janitors. I got a lot of goods on that squad. Stoomps, Zenith, namely, Zapsy, Forget Nick, obviously. Like those are some of my guys for real. Like those are some of my homies. So
Yeah.
I really want to give them a shout out. I want to see them do well under this janitor's name. But if they ever go against the Sewer Morton men, Sewer Morton men in two. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm
Oh,
gonna say.
oh man. I guess if we get to see it, we'll see when we get there. But I
That's
will
true.
say I'm familiar with the entire roster. The only one I've never seen Z play solo, so that one is a little interesting for me. So we'll have to see what
Yeah.
that's like going into the relegations in the season, I suppose.
Zenith is a player he historically played ADC in Smite 1, but unironically, we talked about. I unironically think he was a better solo laner in Smite 1 than he was in ADC, and he was already a pretty top end ADC for the divisions he was playing in. Um, and I mean, obviously ADC just got buffed in Smite 2. It's like super OP. They have Acne that can build crit. So I think he left the role at a really funny time because he left it because the role was bad. And then it's like when you graduate from high school and the high school gets immediately better right when you leave. That's what happened to him in ADC. So hey, Zenith, if you wanna come play support for a week and then leave it really quick, I'd love you, man. So, But yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, keep an eye on him. I think it's gonna be a really interesting role swap. They have a couple subs on their team. If it doesn't end up working out, he could just always play ADC again and go back to his roots. But I imagine he's gonna have a great time in solo as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. That's going to be pretty cool. I mean, like you mentioned, like usually top end ADC and the division he usually plays in, but we'll see what the switch is like here. We'll take a look, but we'll move on to Diamond Obsidian. Now this is, remember guys, this is the one that's got 17
Stacked,
teams fighting for 8 spots. So
stacked.
we got a, if Hydra needs a little time, I definitely get it. It's just a
Nah,
lot of names to go through. Oh no, he's confident.
nah.
He's ready to go. Oh,
I'm
who we
locked
looking
in.
at?
I'm locked in.
Who we
I'm locked in.
looking?
Well, actually, so a couple of these teams actually asked me. They reached out to me. They actually wanted me to give a couple bits of coaching.
Oh
I actually
no,
just got done coaching one of them. Um, so which actually really fun.
rigged
I would.
bias.
Yeah, it's rigged. But I'm actually not gonna pick any of those teams. I think I'm coaching four of these teams, which is actually so funny. So if you guys ever want coaching, reach out. I'll do it for free. But one team I want to give the absolute like well there's two teams. There's two teams. Um, the first team I want to give a shout out to is the Finlow Fellowship. That's going to be consisting of my Texas A&M kind of squad over there: Ferendum, Rekka, Sifu, Realty, Ferendum, WK Duck, Blue. So like that's just that Texas A&M kind of group from collegiate. Love those guys. I played with Sifu obviously in AGL when I won. He was a W teammate, even better guy. And shout out to literally everybody else, but I just love Sifu so much. And then obviously going back to that roster that I won with, um, I want to shout out the Drag Queen Lovas. Jolliver's the captain for that team, but they're gonna have Jolliver, Gumbo, Kernoin, who subbed in for us for our AGL finals on super short notice. Ended up, he stepped in for us, helped us win that ship. So I love that, love him for that. Jolliver, Tunda, Aridi, Aqua, Hato. That team, at least in my opinion, they're sleeper. I think they're super, super good. Finlow Fellowship, Finlow's not on the team. They just named it after Finlow, and I love that for them. But those are easily my two favorite teams in this entire division,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. So to me, it's like they it's kind of like a chain, like a, if you named like a church after something, like a something
Yep,
fellowship, and in this
yep,
case, like the person to look up to is Finlow. Finlow's not here.
yep,
He's not with this team, but he's out there
yep,
somewhere. You can feel him in the
yep.
presence, and his aura is just around, and you just know, and you
Mhm,
just gotta go.
100%.
Go
He is in the
just let
Marvel
him in.
rival queues. I will promise you. He's playing another game. Um, but I will also give my honorable mention. Two honorable mentions. One to Bull Gang. I know them from the collegiate days, so obviously I played against them when I was a collegiate goon. So shout out to them. I've seen them doing Smite Prime. They're really trying to improve and doing good by themselves. So shout out to them for that. And another team I want to shout out is Poseidon's Office Project. This team. This team might be sneaky, and I'm not just saying that because they have a guy named Sneaky Dream on their roster. Um, this team has some demons on it. Rascal, obviously, I teamed with him last time I played in AGL. I teamed with Rascal and a lot of my other good friends to this day. But I Poseidon's coming up from these lower divisions. RK Vulcan coming up from these lower divisions. Kind of like an unknown name coming in, but he just terrorized OSL Delphi this season. Yake BR, Yake Burr. He's been kind of cold with it. Swagmaster Uwu being a sub, Riggs being a sub right now. This roster, I know they've been putting some practice in. They've been getting some scrims in. They have a pretty cool coach. No bias, no two. But I think that team they could be a little bit more solid than some of these other teams might be thinking. So I don't think they're just a free win like some of these teams might be thinking they are.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And the only other team I really want to mention off the top of my head,
Yeah.
it's just because like this team competes every season. Whether they make it
Yep.
through relegations or not is another question. But I see Bull Gang and a lot of people that have played together a
Yep.
long time. They they have one way to play the game, and
They do.
it's
True.
always fun to watch. Whether it's a loss or a
True.
dub, it's always fun. So that's
Yep.
pretty cool. We'll see how they do if they end up being one of those 8 teams to make it through this
Yep.
first weekend, and we'll go from there. But that means there's only one more group to talk about. That's
True.
Masters Plus.
Yeah, and like this is a division where I mean I'm very familiar with all of these names. Um, and I mean, there's a couple rosters that stand out to me. Um, I mean, there's only one roster I can pick, right? Guys,
Yeah. Okay.
chat. I have to pick the Showbiz roster. I mean, they just have they have Snatty on their team. They have C Host. You know, they have Showbiz and ADC. Benoit, which is a true story, he's renamed. 2.0, which I don't know who that is. But all of the people I just named, they're great for show business. Obviously Snatty is Mr. Commentary himself. Great content there. Um, the meme though, what I'm going to talk about, Auto Speed and Car are going to be on this team. The number one ranked player, number two ranked player are going to be on this team. I want to see if they play the game what people would traditionally call normally, or if we're going to be seeing that Auto Speed, I burn objectives at the 5 minute mark kind of play style that he's so well known for. So I'm curious to see how that's going to be measuring up against some of these other higher level teams. And another shout out I want to give is that Weekend. Weekend is playing with us. He's on the Durag Demons. Um, Banger name, by the way, for a team.
What's
That's
a
insane.
name, man?
Yeah. So I want to see if they, hold that sentiment and solidarity. Is Weekend going to pull up on game day? Is he going to stream in a Durag? I would love to see that. I think that could be really, really fun. But I think that roster's actually really cool. Xylo, Schmep, Tanner, Tricky. These are all like, they play in Weekends like kind of bubble very often. So I don't think that's going to be, really, a far cry for them to, all be playing together here in this division. But yeah, I mean, I think Showbiz is going to be like my team to keep an eye on. I just want to see how, though I just want to see the way Auto Speed and Car are going to play the game. And I want to see if we can shows up in a do-rag. Can we get a do-rag gamer skin in their honor if they win the whole thing? Well, actually, sorry, I need to vote for them now to win the whole thing because if they win, I can ask Kyrus to make a do-rag gamer skin in their honor. Yeah, they're my favorites. I'm rooting for Weekend. That's crazy. I'm rooting for Weekend.
We'll see.
I'm
And
rooting for
yeah,
Weekend.
but you keep seeing my cat come in. Riley, she's a nerd,
Yeah,
complete nerd, but it's fine. She's
true,
lovable.
true.
It's cool. So yeah, I mean, personally, I want to see the Durag on Weekend every time he plays an
Oh,
AGL
100%.
match, just for the memes, just for the memes. But also just quick like a story thing because I
Mm-hmm.
first started playing comp. I think it was season 7 of Smite One, season 6, somewhere in that
Oh,
area.
word.
I don't think it was the first land season. That was season 5. I think it was season 6. I don't 100% remember. But I was a sub for a team. Never played the entire season. And then the week of like the tournament for semifinals and finals, the solo is like, "Yo, not gonna be here, so gonna have to find somebody." And then I didn't
Dang.
play competitive solo at all. At all. I
Mhm.
just played it in like ranked and you just pressing W and stuff. But
Yeah.
um, one of those because it was 2 weeks between the time of the end of the season and then the playoff day. Um,
Mhm.
one day I was playing Hercules in those casual games. Hercules was notably bad at the time, but it's one of my best characters. Um, so I was just doing simple things like I got in a casual game. Weekend was on the team with a couple of his friends, and then I was just in solo. But I was zoning at blue buffs and like peeling him when like he was diving people,
Yeah.
and then like he gave me like a lot of compliments, and they gave me a lot of compliments. It gave me a lot of confidence, and I played really well in that tournament. And that's how I started my comp playing and whatnot. So to now like 5, 6, 7 years later, see him play in a league that I've been a part of in the management side of things
Yeah.
for 7 years is really cool. That's really like the start and end of it is just really nice to see.
100%. I mean, W shout out for sure. So, I'm really excited to see all of these teams play. I know I said that some of these teams were my favorite. That's still true. I still love them. Um, but I am actually very, very excited to see all of these teams play, especially in the Diamond Obsidian division. Like, there are so many players that obviously, like, I know they know me. I've either, I was gonna say competed against, but I beat them. Uh, before, or I teamed with them in the past. Like just like a lot of great people in that division. I'll give a shout out to Rascal, Benson, Vayu, Pavis, Roman, Twinkle Toes, I Still Buffs, obviously Sifu Kerr and Realty, Jex, Starblood, formerly known as Kiba, Lizard Fuel, Zero, Boosted Pair, Frozen Fangs, 12 gauge. Obviously, you know, fan of the Albion there. Physics, like tons. Thokman, Jones, Stroville. Like there's so many people in this division, and not everybody can get a spot, which is crazy. That's why I'm so. That's my favorite division to watch for sure. I want to see who's going to be making it, who's going to be competing this season, and who's going to just be watching this, watching, keeping news, seeing what could have been, seeing if their name gets shouted out, week 3, 4, 5, seeing what could have been.
Yeah, absolutely. But those are all the teams that Hydra's pointed out. Those are probably in his opinion the best teams to look out for this weekend and see how their results come up. Teams to beat.
100%.
So we will see what happens. We'll go ahead and go to this next portion of the scheduled presentation.
Oh yeah.
So this part, I want to try to do this every week. I don't know if it'll be every week or not, but I definitely have like handful of people in mind, or a handful of
Yep.
teams in mind to do this spot with. But I'm gonna start off. We're going to do either a player or a team, and then also
Yep.
a staff member, when possible, just to highlight, to show just the history of the league, and things that they did, their impact, or whatever it might be. So first,
Yep.
the first person we're going to talk about is a player, 5-time champion, uh,
Yep.
happens to have a cheater on his team and then have a match replayed and then gets to win again anyway.
Yeah,
Snooze.
beating our order.
Snooze, he went under a few different Snooze names, but I'll let you talk about him a little bit, Hydra.
It's true. It's true. I mean, Snooze. He did just recently obtain a chip. He did just win an OSL in the Athens division. So shout out to you, Snooze, for
Rigged.
doing that. Yeah, you beat my organization twice. Unfortunate,
Owners
unlucky.
playing in their leagues.
Um,
Can you believe it?
can you believe it? Wow, couldn't be me, couldn't be us. But Snooze, I mean, obviously he won season 5 of Legends Division, with Drowsy Bat, Light Tunnel, UA and Raymond. Won season 6 in the Legends Division with Waddles, Kano, Godsend, and Raymond again. So he likes that Raymond team up. Uh, and he renamed to Not Snooze for season 7 of Legends Division. He was with Desto, Sarah Nations, Kill Cam Kenny, and Raymond. Yet again, so 3P for Raymond. In season 8, Glacier Division Finals, he was teamed with Waddles, Zareth, Godsend, and Upbeat Bo. And season 14 of the Masters Division, he was teamed with Wake, Mando, Crojiro Mountain, and Furballer. So, very, very experienced, very, a lot of veteranship. This is my nice way of calling him old. But obviously very well accomplished. Um, it's players like him, that are so decorated. They kind of create the foundation for this amateur scene and for this, this kind of competitive environment that we all like to play in. I remember seeing back in like season like I think it was season 6 of AGL. I didn't play in AGL. I played in collegiate first before I played in AGL. And I would always look at like the Hall of Fame name, and I'd be like, dang, this guy gets his name up there a lot. That I don't know if he goes outside a lot, and so like that was like my first impression of Snooze. But then obviously I got into comp later on. I met him. I talked with him. He's such a such a cool guy. He's one of those foundational members. But talking about kind of the foundation of the league, I think we'd be amiss if we didn't bring up Sherix. So I want to let you talk about Sherix for a little bit.
Yeah, and just the whole Snooze thing, I don't really care. Like I just love messing with Snooze any chance I get,
Oh, 100%.
because I'll send him something just to meme him, and I know he's not going to respond, but I know he's laughing
Yep.
about it. So I do that as much as possible. But
I
yeah,
bet he just said like, yeah, I'm laughing.
yeah, exactly. Ha ha, this
Yeah.
guy! I can't wait to kick his
Ha
door
ha
out
ha.
of OSL as soon as possible.
Man.
But yeah, Sherix, man, the original founder of Albion Giants, which is where our league came to be. Originally, he wanted to do like a tournament focused thing because there was no Smite Prime at the time,
Yeah.
and I think there was Vulpus, but it wasn't really that. I don't think it was too known, and at least for me, like I had never
Yeah.
heard of like Vulpus at that point in time. But it felt like there was a lack of competitive for pre-made teams.
Yeah.
I also at the time I didn't know what draft leagues existed, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
had no idea, and I think at the time it was like probably like the 4th year of Valhalla, maybe
Yeah.
3rd year,
Yeah.
4th year, something like that. But anyways, like Sherix he's a great, passionate guy, awesome dude. Like great personality. He always means well everything he does. He always wanted to help people. He was part of. As he was a high-res volunteer, wasn't like officially staff, but he volunteered at a lot of events and like in Smite game chats and stuff like that. He did a lot for the community. He actually had to shut down AG, or was going to have he had to shut down AG in because it was in Wales and there's some weird walls before he could move. But he actually was able to pass it over to somebody else, which I'm not going to bring up because that did not go well at all. We decided when that happened that
Valid.
we were separating from the org. We were just going to do our own thing as a league because we were already doing it anyway. It was just under the org. The
Yeah.
server was already completely like an AGL server was completely already separate anyway, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like one of the best people I've ever met. Had been able to talk to him and Shan. Shan, she's awesome. She's very supportive and just a very nice, awesome lady. So yeah, Sherrick's, if not for him reaching out to me and then me reaching out to like Angsari and Glacier to like look at what we could do to get something started. Um,
Mm.
I He's the one that made this all be possible because I tell you what, I wasn't thinking about a league at all. Wasn't thinking
Yeah.
about tournaments at all. I just was like happy to do whatever I could for a community somewhere with broadcast stuff or something. And this guy, he listened to everything. I was, we bounced. He was able to bounce off ideas off of each other and stuff like that, tell my
Yeah.
experiences and whatnot. And it's Sherix is just awesome, man. He's now in like a 12-hour different time zone, so it's probably 10 a.m. for him right now, where he's
Jeez.
at. So don't get to talk to him that much anymore, or Shan, but try to as often as I can. It's definitely miss those guys, and if it wasn't for them, we couldn't have even thought of making this whole thing happen.
Yeah. W foundational members for sure. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of something we want to try to aim for. As my cat jumps into my tower, off of my shoulder, off
Heck
the
yeah.
chair, and just parkour style. Um,
Hardcore parkour.
exactly. I can hear her purring down on the way by. Um,
Nice.
so that's something we want to try to do each week. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. I just and her shadow's in the background now too. You silly cat. But anyway,
Sweet.
that's something I try to want to do. I kind of want to do like as often as possible. I don't want it to necessarily like get boring and old each time, so might space it out like
Yeah.
every couple times or something. But
Mhm.
it's definitely something that's important to me, and I think is important to the community to get like a little bit of a shout out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. 100%. I completely agree with that. So, I mean, actually, just to be really transparent, most people, if I was shouting them out here on the on the podcast, they were DMing me like W shout out, man, W shout out. So like obviously like it feels good to get that recognition, like saying like, hey, like we're here. Trust me, like us as the admin team, we see you guys competing. I don't know if we've ever vocalized that before in the past, that we are actually encouraging you guys to play well and we're watching your games and stuff, or if you guys just think that we're just hitting a check mark at the match report screen. But we're as involved in this as you guys are. We as the admin team, we're basically your guys' number one fans. So go out there, have a great time playing this weekend for sure, and the entire season, and make it just have fun, have it, make it a great time for sure.
Yeah,
So
and just to piggyback off that before we move to the next section,
yeah.
like when like any season that back in the day, a replay could last for 6 days, then it got down to 5, then to
Mhm.
4, then to 2, but like I wanted to try to get things as right as possible, so I watched as many games as I could. Not like the entire set, but I wanted to watch one game of each set when possible to learn about teams. And for two
Yeah.
reasons: one, to get better at vetting, better at placing players over course of time. Two, broadcast purposes. I want to be able to like give some
Yeah.
information to casters if they're not familiar with the players. Hey, what do this team like? What do they usually like to do? What
Yeah.
is a god that's not really meta, but they really love to run, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really liked diving into and learning things about players and teams. So, like you said, it's not just a green check mark or a green border with a white check mark on it.
Yeah.
As hi, Riley, you got something to say? Yeah,
Meow.
she's so precious.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm with you. Like it's just like kind of like you said, number one fans for all the players. So it's really fun. But we'll go ahead and move on to this next section. We're going to talk about. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to show you, just in case you've missed it, just in case you haven't seen an FAQ or announcements, the entire
Yeah.
schedule for the season, at least the dates. I'm going to go ahead and pop that up on my screen as soon as I find it again. Don't you talk over my microphone. Don't you do it. She tried. All right,
Voting the
so
cat for the MVP of the show. Honestly, yeah, W cat, W cat.
yeah, MVP of the whole show for sure. And she's still rubbing against it, trying to knock the microphone over. Like, pay attention to me, not the microphone. What are you doing? But the date's up over my camera right now. Of note, signups, opened on the 5th. They closed a few days ago. Relegations tomorrow, and on next Saturday. The regular season begins on the 1st of June. Will run until the 19th of July. And then the playoffs will be those next 4 to 5 weeks after that. So if you need to see this again, it's going to be in the FAQ section in Discord. As I'm going to have to catch this microphone again because some cat wants to keep rubbing up against it.
Valid.
All right, so had about a minute or so time with that schedule on there. If you needed the screenshot or whatever, too late. Or you can just go back to the VOD later. Or, again, go to the FAQ section for the third time. That's where a lot of answers are, guys. It's fine. It's fine if you still message or help desk or whatever. It's just it's there. Next thing I want to talk about, we've updated our rules on combat pause. So the other day, I was like, so Glacier, in our rule section, it says you can't do this, but it doesn't say what happens when you do this. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. We're stupid. How can we not do this like 2 years ago when it first became an issue? I'm like, yeah, you're right. So we came up with a 3-step system. If you want to go over that, Hydra.
100%. So if you guys have ever, DC'd in the middle of a team fight, someone's like, guys, I can't see my screen, and someone hits the pause button while your Neath is hitting autos. Technically, there was a rule that said you couldn't do that, but nothing that said what happened if you actually did do that. Knowing that Smite 2 is a very, very finished, polished game that is competitively ready, nothing bad happens. But just in case something bad does happen in your games, we made this system. So the first instance when you combat pause was when you hit the pause in the middle of a fight or someone's boxing or something like that. You get a warning. You'll get a warning. Neath player hitting autos, crazy scenario, true. But you're gonna get a warning, basically us telling you, hey, don't do this again, right? The second time a team is found doing this, they will FF the current game being played. That is not an FF of the entire set. If it's a best of 3, you don't just get 2-0'd and just keep going. You forfeit the game you are currently in, and you go to the next game, right? Now, if the third time that happens, if the third time we find a team doing that, you do forfeit the entire set. So if you're in game 1 and minions spawn and then someone lags out and you combat pause, you're forfeiting that set if it's the third time you've done it, right? Realistically speaking, combat pauses are pretty rare. They don't happen all the time. But in the very rare circumstances where they do happen, we have a system that won't punish you too harshly if it's just like your first time doing it the entire season. You don't have to forfeit an entire set. But if you are for some reason a repeat offender and you are abusing combat pauses, it will punish you accordingly.
Yeah. So in the past, it's more like an interpretation thing. What happened? What came about it? Now this is a more direct. This is what's going to happen, like every time. Yeah. So if we find these things to happen, it's going to be actually taken care of the same consistent way, no matter what, going forward.
I would also like to highlight, before we move on, I would also like to highlight that we have a pause report channel that we've always had. So if, including combat pauses, all pauses do need to be getting reported. That's going to be helping us keep track of what teams are pausing. If a combat pause gets, found and we have to warn somebody, we're going to keep track of it on our end as well, but that's also an extra layer for you guys as individual players and teams to keep track of, making sure, man, are we on our second or third violation of combat pausing? Well, if you report the pause, you'll know.
Yeah, it'll be there. Pause report. Initially intended for streams back in the day. That way we knew if there were pauses in games, so we could prepare. Like, oh yeah, this game's got a pause. At least we'll know for it. We can prepare for it. But it then became more of this as well, the combat pausing and things like that. So the channel's there for a reason, multiple
Hmm.
reasons actually, but it's
Go for these.
definitely a great place to be. Next section here, or next thing here, new rule is about name changes, and this is probably pretty familiar with it at this point if you played an OSL or maybe some other leagues that are going on. I may or may not have missed or know about, but basically the most important thing is if you change your name, it's gonna hinder payouts for the league. So if you change it before finals or whatever and whatnot, it's gonna be hard to make sure you get paid out what you're owed. It's just an issue with how things are in Smite 2. So that's one part of it, but I'll let you speak on the other.
Uh, let's see. You might have to carry me through this one. You might have to carry me through
Oh,
this
did I
one,
leave
King.
something out? Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, you got to carry this one, but I'll
Yeah, that sounds good.
enthusiastically nod into the camera. You're all good.
It was something about 24 hours. I remember. Scroll.
Exactly. Welcome to the Warriors. Well, not Warriors. The Albion Giants show where nothing ever goes wrong.
Nothing ever. Nothing
Nothing
ever
ever.
ever.
Nothing ever goes wrong in a Smite podcast in
Yeah.
history ever.
Yeah. Never ever. I mean, it's a podcast, so you
Yep.
should be listening anyway. So
Exactly.
right?
They should be listening. Exactly.
Exactly. You don't see anything. You just listen. Um.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh
Got
yeah.
it here.
Player names in the game got to match what's on the rosters. If you
Mhm.
do have a name change, it's got to be reported 24 hours before um, your match would be, so that we can get everything squared away and make sure that it does show up. So we'll touch more on that later on, but just pretty much straightforward. If you name change, please make it early in the week and please report it so we don't have any issues whatsoever for any side of things. Um, Other notable notes. Okay, gods will not be banned. Similar to OSL has been doing. Um,
Oh yeah.
Gods will not be banned upon release unless there's a game-altering, game-breaking bug that's found.
Yep.
So an aspect won't be banned the next week. Anything like that. So unless there's game-breaking, game-altering scenarios constantly coming up with the character that's being released, a god that's being released, it's going to be available. Which is quite the opposite for what it was in the past. It used to be like 6 total weeks before you could play the god in comp in
Yep. It's
Smite
true.
One, and sometimes I think it maybe it got down to 4 at one point. So
Yep.
that's one thing. Also, for this weekend specifically, and for going forward um, into week one, the higher seed, what typically makes lobby. What we're doing for relegations is if you're on the top. So if you see Team A and then Team B, Team A has choice of the pick if they want first or second. That's going to happen
Yep.
throughout all the relegations for the first weekend, and I think the second weekend is seeded if I'm remembering correctly. So then that would be
Hmm.
like higher seeds, but then for the
Yep.
first actual full week of AGL, it'll be the whoever's on top of the bracket for that point. Because anything after that, it'll be it'll be just based on seeding.
Okay. Okay.
And
Pretty easy to
then
follow. Makes sense.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. And then for the vetting purposes, again, we're taking consideration into Smite 1 and Smite 2 when we're doing everything that we're doing. Um, we know how good some players were in Smite 2 or Smite 1 that are not as much as Smite 2, and there's some players in Smite 1 that were in the gold area but have found their ways into like diamond level comp in Smite 2. Like
Yep.
there's a lot of things that are happening. Some people are the same as well. So like some people are like if they were plat before they're plat, if they were masters, they're still masters. So just a lot of things to consider, and just again, this is just kind of like a tester. That's why we're only doing the 8 teams and 4 divisions, and not creating that extra division since we had enough teams. So, but
Yep.
other than that, do you have anything to note, Hydra, before we go to chat for questions?
No, nothing crazy. I think we covered mostly everything. So.
Okay. I will
Yep.
say I forgot to mention at the very beginning, the intro video and graphics that you're seeing,
Oh yeah.
all made by Anthony Malum this season. He's spent
Yep.
all his
Melon.
time getting everything ready picking some
I love
bands,
Malum.
sections, and like everything you're going to see on here is pretty much going to be from Anthony Malum, so that's awesome. The
Gotta be
song
Malum.
from the intro video is not mine, but everything else that you've heard song wise has been something that I've made sometime this year. I just wanted to be able to go to like non-copyright because I, truth be told, like the whole like port over your videos from Twitch to YouTube thing.
Oh yeah.
Every time I was porting over, because they're like, oh, you're gonna lose all your highlights and stuff because we're gonna limit you to like however
Hmm.
much. Every time I ported one over, we would have a song that was considered non-copyright back when we used it, but now it's copyright. And then
Yep.
every single video I was porting over from our Twitch channel to our YouTube channel was completely copyright. I'm just like,
Mhm.
I've got to do something so that I don't have to worry about it ever. So I was just like, I'm just
Yep.
gonna, I've spent time in the past playing around with FL City and stuff. I'm actually gonna like actually devote some time to actually trying to actually do something decent.
Yeah,
So
figure it
like
out.
if you were here in the first 5 minutes, you heard something that was from me. You'll hear something from me in the next section. Or I forgot to play the clip, fucking montage, man. I forgot to do it. See, like it
Well,
was
we could
it
play
was
it
on
as
the list and I forgot.
but we could play it as the outro this time.
Yeah, we could.
And then it's the intro for every other one. It's like the anime's like first episode, and the opening plays at the end for the very first episode, but it just plays at the beginning for the rest of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we have it figured out. We got it.
Yeah.
Intentional.
On me, guys. On me. I forgot. I was just so excited to talk about this stuff, man. I can't help it. Like
So
I
good.
just
It's so
love
true.
it. So I'll do that, and then we'll go ahead and do the clip now. It's about 5 minutes, like a little montage of plays that have happened on
Yep.
this channel over the last 5 to 6 years, at various points by various teams, at various levels. So we're gonna switch to that real quick, and then if you can type your questions in chat while we're doing this, while that's playing, we'll answer them after that.
Furballer is really, really low here. Stepdent is able to turn one around. It's a 1-for-2 as of right now. Cardwell still stepping up, looking to see, can you confirm a kill on to Wake? Burger Boy is going to jump in. He's going to look for it. He doesn't catch him. Oh, a great dash by Wake. Saves the life. Meanwhile, though, Mando is in absolute trouble here. Kojiro looking to throw away the Ratatasker for the time being. Stepdent is living with the bane of the existence known as the Sun Wukong. And now it's 4 down for the Halford Haynet. And Cardwell Legacy trying to defend on their own here. Midbird is up. Wake decides to take the 1v1, has to beats to get out. And that was a risky play by Wake there. Had the attempt of, trying to get a kill, but I don't think that was going to happen no matter what, despite, being at, 50% health. I don't think it's a good look there. Cardwell says, hey, you want to come fight the raid boss? We did this earlier. All 1v3. He's going to up down, get the anti-heal going, and now that settled is useless. Cardwell comes away with one. We have to be careful. And look where Dummy Slick. Dummy Slick isn't behind. This is going to be huge. If you can get a Great Fear No Evil, this sets him up. There it is, and it's huge. There's beads and ages off a score of the Kane Sauce team. Freezing Fantasy comes away with one. Mr. Sneak is on the right-hand side, but 4 members of his team are just going to die here as, Strength of a Dragon lives for the time being. Kleena takes it away, and they are lucky that Kleena is able to finish it because that was about to get turned on top of its head.
Bad News Bears are now looking at victory. They're on death's door. Here comes the damage from SCF on the Titan, but Mini takes down Hydra once again. I can't believe it, but Eon's Peons are holding, and they're chasing Bad News out, but Sifu catches Hanu. That is huge. They've stamped out the embers of Eon's Peon's offensive core. Let's hope they've got enough damage to back it up. Spirited Book, though, will not be denied. Ripped out. Ian swept away. Kurno into the sky with a double. Holy Strand stands. Break the curse. Rampage there for Sifu. He has died for them after 4 long seasons of setback.
10 stacks on Prophetic Cloak for Vapicus.
It's a little bit late in the game to still be going for the mini game. And Super Death Fang is caught out by the entire Alabama squad. He
He's
needs
so
to use the ult to
tanky.
get out.
They've recognized that the Kali is the big
Oh,
spot.
Apollo!
Oh, he's in the area!
Full
They
sail steal the
away!
fire giant, and that's a triple kill for this Apollo, a quadra kill for this Apollo. Red Velvet Bear is in the area they might be hunting. They are looking, and that's a penta kill going for Saffrion on this Apollo.
think they want the fight instead. That's a good chunk of damage. Ultimate from Maui lands, and it's just a beat. But the reading damage comes in. That's a big killing. Dragons lands on a 2. Thor lands, but it doesn't seem to matter as the ult from Ishtar lands and keeps him in place. Instant is dead. Vom still stomping away. Now we're gonna get out of that ultimate. The overhead smash lands. RDL just trying to keep the Vector away. But he
the panda? The panda? Go for the panda!
Penta could be up on the table for him. Thugman Jones under the tier 1. The damage is good. Will it be enough?
12! What are you doing? 12!
Sure, but 12 gauge disgustingly steals the Penta.
Getting banned. Getting banned.
Get him out of here.
Right.
Teams across the board here. Very intense coming out from both teams. I can't believe Ring around the rosies just keeps on going.
It's one of those where you just gotta kind of laugh at the hilarity of the situation of Kepri just like he's going around the circle again. Just gonna keep
Honestly,
doing
this
it.
is well paid.
I mean, all he's doing is buying time, but
Yeah,
Morgan
you're
coming
eating
in
up
now.
so much time here, wasting all the time in the world. That Hunter could have done quite a bit with that,
And he gets out.
kill onto the Merlin. 2-0-2 now on that god, and it looks like their original intention of translating this into a Gold Fury take is going to come to fruition here. Mystic Esports tried to stop them, lost a couple members for their efforts. Oh, they're still going for it. They don't want to let it go for free. Snack Burrito goes in, gets one onto Vito, throwing down more damage onto this Gold Fury. Snack Burrito gets a second. The Gold Fury leashed. It's up to about 25% health now. Trying to find more onto Snack Burrito. Stun is good, but invisible for the time being. Fields of Love committed. Bede's going to make sure that RDO gets out safely for the time being, and the Gold Fury does not fall thanks to some absolute heroics from the mid laner on Mystic Esports.
On this duo lane side, Phoenix, the Kraken, going to go off and take out the Osiris on the side of Fresh Trims. The left Phoenix will be able to fall, but no frontliners are left alive here. And it looks like Raijin doesn't care. He's going to turn around and pick up a double kill on to this Poseidon. 2 for 2 and a Phoenix for Fresh Trims so far. And Vamana also going to pick up a kill. Raijin getting a triple kill. This fight is still going. Raijin picking up a quadra kill. Looking at the Vamana. Can he finish it off using his auto attacks? That's gonna be a pentakill for this Raijin. And man, if he was unstoppable, he's even more so now.
Some blasts from the past there, Hydra. You may have noticed a couple that you're very familiar with. You may have noticed some that you haven't seen before. But I mean, like when I was going through clips, how do you choose which ones to leave out for a 5-minute video? It's very difficult.
Hard. It's hard. It's like imagine there's a time capsule full of diamonds, and you just gotta pick 5 or 6 of your favorite diamonds. There's so many iconic moments from AGL, competitive in the past, that, it's just so hard to pick some. Demise in chat saying he was costed. It brings back memories, right? I feel like, us as a community, we, here at AGL, we've seen some insane games, some insane moments. The Kepri bringing on the Rosie is just hilarious. Go to cat moment as well for sure. But man, and this is why we need your guys' clips going forward, right? Because there will be a cast in Relegations this weekend. Get those iconic moments, get those clips, send them to us, so we can make these compilations. We need to make sure these moments, we can find them, and, bring them back, and oh man, what was the oldest clip there? How old was that last clip? Years, 5 years, maybe 6? Jeez.
Yeah, and that was the point of doing this montage the way I did. I left off some very, very crazy moments. Favorite. I left off my favorite clip of all time, which is when Frog was casting Texas A&M versus, I can't remember who it was against, but
right.
There was a fire giant steal, and there was this crazy triple kill and stuff like that going on, and and just the hype and the energy in that moment is something that you get on a professional broadcast in a high
100%.
setting. And like that's my favorite clip that we have is that one, and it got left off, you know, because I wanted to showcase like as many seasons as I could as possible across the last 5 years and what time frame that I was going to put towards the video. So
Yeah.
the Raijin kill, I forgot about that. The Raijin Penta,
Yeah.
completely forgot about it, and I'm pretty sure it
Yep.
was in a finals if I remember right.
Yep.
Rare things
No,
that
it's
you
insane.
don't ever really see that often. So
Yeah.
and also like I didn't find a good clip for it, but I wanted to add in a clip with like when the map was snow. When was that,
Yo,
like
yeah.
season 8 or something like that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I remembered
forever
like
ago now.
it was like the first collegiate season I think, or second collegiate season. Yeah, second collegiate season. It was like Michigan and Kennesaw, I want to say it was, and it was a Fafnir clip, if I remember correctly. Like Genji was playing Fafnir mid, got a quadra kill over near the solo lane. Like
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that happened in the that might have been the first season instead of the second one, but I don't know. I just I was looking for one, couldn't find one, but it is what it is. But like I don't know. I loved everything again. Like watching it all, going back in time, thinking about the amount of time, like the amount of hours that have been spent, not just by me, but like everyone else that has been a part of it. So, but either way, does anybody in chat have any questions? I didn't really see anything pop up. I just wanted to. I mean, I did see some comments throughout the video or throughout the stream.
Yep.
So I want to thank you guys for all the comments. I did read everything, but I'm very streamlined when it comes to things. So I try to like keep going and not just stop and react to each comment. But I do know Bravo had a question he sent me earlier today. But
Oh, word. Okay.
yeah, he said, "I want the first question of the show tonight to be mine," and it reads, "How come Majin is the cutest in AGL, and when will we go on a date?"
I mean, Bravo's in chat right now, so I mean, I feel like you owe Bravo an answer. Like, when is the date gonna happen?
I don't know. That's a great.
Before or after
I don't
Ellie?
even know
Before
where
or after
Bravo's from. I don't know
True.
if he's gonna fly me out. I don't know what he's got planned. Like I have no idea, Bravo. Like you have a simple question and like no details. I don't know what to say.
I feel like what Majin's really trying to say here is meet him in mid lane. Bring a health potion or two. Y'all can have a good time.
Whenever they add Thoth back into the game, that's when I'll be happy again.
100%. Man, I would say, thankfully, like, I mean, I'm eating pretty well when it comes to, my characters being in the game. I have Kepri, and that's really my beloved character. Ganesh is on the way next. I still need Terra, but, I don't think they're going to be adding Terra for a minute. I'm pretty sure she terrorized Smite 1 enough towards the end of her lifespan, but...
Yeah.
Pacers or Knicks? What's your opinion, Majin? Are we Pacers fans or Knicks fans here?
That's honestly, was it prepared for that question? I haven't watched the series at all. Not gonna lie, NBA for me, like it's. I used to watch it a lot until about probably 16, 17, 18. So we're in that area. I keep up with it. I know obviously like Halliburton and stuff like players like that.
Yep.
Like the household names. I don't know like the seventh player that's a key role like 10-minute filler. I don't know those like I used to. But I think I would like to see an organization like the Pacers like be represented in like a world championship setting. I can't remember a time off the top of my head where I've seen that. The Knicks obviously haven't done a lot for a long time either though. So I do like that it's kind of like fresh teams that are involved here. We don't see Giannis in like getting to this point, right? We don't see Embiid getting to this point. We don't see, Boston didn't get to this point because they had to go through New York, and New York got them this time around. Which, by the way, I'm one of the people that believes Boston last year was the luckiest team of all time. Because every time they played a team in playoffs, like one of their best players or their best player was like out and couldn't play like the entire freaking like series. So like to me, like people talk about the bubble championship being a Mickey championship. That one to me is a Mickey championship, and I don't care.
Yeah, that might be true. That might be true. I mean, were the Celtics good? Yeah, but were they super like undefeatable? I don't think so. But
Yeah.
we'll never
Yeah.
know. We'll never know. Me personally, I'm a Pacers fan though. Pacers
Oh,
over the
word.
Knicks every day. Yeah. I mean, I don't like any of the teams in the playoffs right now. Like, I think the team I liked the most was the Wolves, and the Wolves did not. They in fact did not bring it home in 5. The Wolves did lose. So now I mean, like all of like my like actual favorite teams are kind of gone. It is what it is. But I mean, if I'm rooting for anybody, Pacers or Knicks, I'm rooting for the Pacers. I like that team a lot more.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The Spirited, the New York Knickerbockers.
Yep.
Everybody calls them the Knicks instead of Knickerbockers. But
Yep.
that's
He
that's
wouldn't
who
know
it
that because
is,
he's
NBA
Canadian.
team. Yeah, I know. He's got hockey and stuff up there.
He has hockey. He has Maple Leafs and stuff. You know. Oh well. Either way, any other questions though? Any other questions, chat?
I'm gonna scroll back up and make sure I didn't see anything.
Yeah, make sure we didn't miss anything. Next week, can we interview the MVP cat? I mean, surely.
Yeah, I don't
Surely
see
we
why
interview
not.
MVP
Hey,
cat.
Riley, you want to
Yeah.
do that next week? Of course, now she can't be found when she's been here the whole entire freaking night.
Yep.
Probably in the winter.
This is
not
NBA,
gonna lie.
yes. He said we do in fact have literally one team. That's so funny. Oh man. Well, I mean, I guess if there's no other question in the chat, I mean, I guess that's the end of the show for this week at least. So.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose
Awesome.
we'll cut it off here, but and it's about where I wanted to be anyway, about an hour long at the most on the top end. So we're I think, including the intro, it's probably like an hour 3 and out of the hour 12, so it's pretty close. But
Yeah, it's not bad at all. We did it.
I really enjoyed this. I mean, I it's hard for me to explain because like I've wanted to do this so many times over the last 6 years, right? But I had so much on my plate that once I would try to do something else is going on, or work schedules changes or something like that. And I really want this to actually work out this time because, you know, in the past I'm over everything, and this season I'm basically just a helper. Like I do I know everything still? Of course. Like, and I'm gonna make sure like if there's things I don't know, I'm gonna make sure I'm refreshed on them, or like the 2 new rules with the combat pause and like the name change. Those are things that I had to learn about that I'm gonna know, you know, going forward. But I just what happens with these things when I do these things, right, is like I have this idea, like Hydra sees like all the notes that I posted, sent to his DMs for like this entire show. Like I'm very detailed oriented. I want to make sure I hit every point. I still missed one, which is fine. It happens. Which was the clips thing, or playing the montage rather. But after this, it's simply just like, hey, this is structure, and then we just do it on the fly. I just got to do something with somebody the first time just to structure it, get a feel, and go from there. But like earlier today during my lunch break, I was just thinking about like the next 3-4 weeks, and I was like, so next week's obviously going to be a review of the previous weekend, which is happening tomorrow, and then we'll talk about specific rules for how the formatting works. And then the next week, it's like, obviously, we're reviewing relegations and then talking about week 1 matchups. And then it's like, also, let me think about teams or players I want to talk about, and then also staff members. And then, like, on a spreadsheet, I already filled out, like, 7 weeks worth of stuff. And it took, like, 10 minutes to do. Like, this is how, like, that's how much I really love, like AGL and like, Smite esports and stuff like that. It just, I couldn't have done that 6 months ago. Like, I just looked at it and been like, I can't do it. And then this week, I mean, it's just something's changed in the last few weeks, and I just really looking forward to the season. But I'm Majin. This is Hydra. We'll catch you guys next week, Friday, 9 p.m. EST, and we'll see you then.
Oh, yeah. Yep, catch you all. Peace out.
Peace.
Dreaming on the windowside, acting like I'm in disguise, so no one figure out my life. I'm terrified of falling out now. My feelings are healing for leaving. I see it when I walk around. I've started finding reasons to give you my keys, and my life is turning upside down. And all I hear is don't fall out, slamming to the ground. And all I see is water falling down. Yeah, all I feel is slow and real. I'm growing up and notice something. I've been blind, I'm so blind. I've been blind, I'm so blind. I used to be the caring guy, but now I'm always feeling so low. I tried too hard, and now I'm gonna find out how I lost. My feelings are healing for leaving. I see it when I walk around. I've started finding reasons to give you my keys, and my life is turning upside down. And all I hear is don't fall out, slamming to the ground.